Is this on?
Yeah. She sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, I'm ready. Woo! Hi everybody, welcome back to part 3 of the mid-season MotoGP rider rankings for 2022. Thank you for being here, thank you for making it this far. If you've stuck around for the previous 2 parts of this series, which you can find in the link in the description, I'll also put some cards right on the video right here so you can go watch those videos. Anyway, like I said, these rankings are based off of your guys' responses in the form I sent out on my channel, as well as my own personal rankings, and we're going to compare my rankings with yours, the audiences who submitted them. So let's get into it. We are going to do P8 to P1, the top 8 today. We are going to finish this off before the start of the next Grand Prix. So with that being said, in P8, we have consensus pick for P8 because the Monde and Moto Mischa have both chosen in 3, 2, 1, Johan Mir. That's right, Johan Mir of Suzuki X-Star, who will no longer be there after next season. Well, what to say about Johan Mir? I mean, he is the former MotoGP World Champion of 2020, which was a stunner for most people because I don't think anyone had him winning that championship. But nevertheless, he did it. And you know, he won that championship on a model of consistency, which he has shown throughout his career, just like this season is no different because he has finished in the top 10 in every race that he has finished so far this year. I think he's only had a couple of retirements, but every other race he's been in the top 10. Now, he doesn't have any podiums or wins yet this year, but he is a model for consistency. And believe it or not, he's 8th in the standings with 77 points. So it's kind of ironic how we put him 8th on our list. Yeah, good for him. I think we both got this right. I think that's in a very appropriate place for Johan Mir to be on this list. Anyway, moving on to P7. In P7, we have another consensus pick, and the Monde and Moto Mischa have both chosen in 3, 2, 1, Enea Bastianini, one of the satellite Ducati teams. Yes, Bastianini has been quite the shocker this year, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if anyone expected his rise to be so fast because he does have 3 wins this year at Qatar, Circuit of the Americas, as well as in France. And you know, at one point he was leading the championship very early on in the season, but now as of this current moment in time, he is 5th in the championship with 105 points. And that's not too bad. That's not too shabby, especially for a sophomore. I mean, he's obviously destined for great things, right? I mean, he's part of I think he was part of the VR46 Racing Academy. Yeah, he's one of the disciples. So clearly, once again, hats off to the Dr. Valentino Rossi for producing so many good riders that we can now have the privilege of witnessing in the future. But unfortunately, Bastianini technically should be rated higher in this list, but he just hasn't really been consistent. He's been crashing out and retiring from too many races. Unlike the next guy, who in P6, we have a little bit of a different opinion. So the Monde have picked for P6 in 3, 2, 1, Jack Miller, Thriller Miller, the king of the shoey. However, I went slightly different, and for Mischa's pick in P6, I've picked in 3, 2, 1, the Springbok himself, Brad Binder, Yusmin, Yus. You know, this one is a very close one, I must admit, because they're both kind of equal on points. I mean, let's go with the Monde's pick, first of all. With Jack Miller, he's sitting at 7th in the championship with 91 points, but on top of that has 3 podium finishes at USA, at France, as well as at Germany. Meanwhile, Brad Binder, the Springbok, has 93 points in the championship, which puts him 6th, just ahead of Miller. Every time he has finished a race, he has been in the top 10 except for one time. He also has capped that off with a 2nd place finish at the opening Grand Prix of the season, which was in Qatar. But yeah, for P6, I mean, you guys put Miller, I put Binder, but honestly, I think you could swap them around. I think they're both identical here, to be honest. Miller, I do like ahead of Binder just because I think he's had a lot more to deal with this year. There was a lot more expectations of him, and he has delivered, in my mind, with those 3 podiums. Everyone remembers when all the rumors about Miller being replaced at Ducati by Bastianini or Martin or someone like that. Yet, Miller was continuing to get podiums, right? And he wasn't even doing that bad, but he had to deal with all that mentally, you know, and the fact that he still came out with top-notch results is just a true testament to how skilled of a rider he is, right? So that's why, for me, I put Miller in P5, and you guys actually, the Monde, picked in 3, 2, 1, Brad Binder for P5. So we just swapped our picks around, no big deal. It's really all right. Binder, I will say, I think there's less expectations of him because he is so new. He's only a sophomore, and he's already had so much success. Wait, is this Brad Binder's second or third year? He's obviously destined for great things, and I'm sure he'll be up in the top 3, at least top 5 in the coming years on this list. Fun fact, actually, Miller is going to be Brad Binder's teammate at Factory KTM in 2023, so they will be battling it out as well for years to come, and then we'll really get the comparison to see who's better. Honestly, I believe Binder probably has a head start because he has been with KTM for a few years now on the Factory KTM bike, so he is accustomed to it. But anyway, I'm looking forward to them being on the same team in the years to come and hopefully elevating KTM to that elite status in the class. So let's see what happens. Moving on to P4, we have another satellite Ducati rider, and his name is 3, 2, 1. Johan Zarco, the Frenchman. You, the Monde, and me, Moto Mischa, picked the same rider for P4, which I think we both got correct. So clap to us. Yes, congratulate ourselves. We must. There's not really much to say here. I mean, Zarco's body of work speaks for itself. I mean, he was third in the championship with 114 points. And on top of that, just, to throw it in there, he has 4 podiums. Mind you, though, even though he's third in the championship, he doesn't have a win this year. In fact, he doesn't even have a win in his career, which is kind of surprising. I mean, he's such a good rider. I don't think he's at risk of ever losing his seat for the near future. Hats off to him, saving his career, because I don't know if anyone remembers, but he almost ended his career with KTM. He had such a dismal year with them a few years ago, and it looked like his career in MotoGP was finished, but Ducati scooped him up. He revitalized his career, and it's great to see him doing well. So moving on, though, to the top 3. The top 3, we must have a drum roll, please. We don't have any drum roll. We don't have that sound effect. For P3, the Monde has picked in 3, 2, 1, Aleix Espargaro, which I am very disappointed about. Now, meanwhile, Moto Mischa has picked in P3, 3, 2, 1, Pecco Bagnaia. Now, I will say, Aleix Espargaro, I understand why you guys put him there. But then again, I'm kind of disappointed because Espargaro is having a better season than Bagnaia this year. Now, it's weird how everyone always talks about Bagnaia as being in the championship fight, yet he is way off. I mean, currently Bagnaia, I put him in P3 because he's 4th in the standing, so he's actually behind Zarco, which I put Zarco in P4. Just to keep that in mind. Bagnaia, he's 4th in the standings, all right? He has 106 points, and he has 3 wins this year, which is good, but he also has a number of retirements, just as many retirements, which is also hindering his chances, just like Bastianini beforehand. Meanwhile, Espargaro, I mean, you guys put him in P3, but I mean, he's 2nd in the championship with 151 points. And get this, he has no retirements at all this year, in not a single race. So that is consistency right there for you. And plus, on top of that, 5 podiums with 1 win included in those podiums, which was his first of his career. So good on him. Yeah, for P2, in 3, 2, 1, the Monde has picked Pecco Bagnaia, where Moto Mischa in P2 has picked in 3, 2, 1, Aleix Espargaro. So we just flipped our picks here, really. Honestly, I mean, come on. Aleix Espargaro, he is a top dog this year. Finally, 2nd in the championship, like I just said. You got to give him credit. I mean, he is realistically the only threat to Fabio Quartararo for the World Championship this year. I just don't think there's any question he's 2nd right now. And he is so close to being 1st if it weren't for this man in P1, the first top rider of the 2022 season is the reigning, defending, undisputed MotoGP world champion of the world in 3, 2, 1. Fabio Quartararo, that's right, is number 1 right now. Once again, led off the year number 1. He finished off last year with his first world championship. Many say it's the first of many, which I do believe is true, because he's 1st in the championship currently with 172 points, and as well 6 podiums. Within those 6 podiums, 3 wins this year. So there's really not much to say about him. He's just rolling. He's just moving. If you want to be the man, you gotta beat the man, in the words of Ric Flair. It is a long season still. It is a long season, so we will see what happens to him and this championship fight. Finally, I am finished. We are finished with the mid-season MotoGP rider rankings for 2022. On the screen here, we're gonna list all of our picks from P24 all the way to P1. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of these rankings. So leave a comment in the description. Like always, hit the like button, share this video, and of course you must subscribe because you have to at this point. If you watched all 3 videos, what are you doing without subscribing? Anyway, that is it. I'm gonna peace out. Until next time, I'm Moto Mischa. Peace.